Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. The IYABUYA iPOPArt Festival is live and a mixed media arts festival which is currently underway and ends in March. It aims to nurture, develop and produce and present art that makes a difference and consistently encourages artists to consider and realize their impact in society. After 10 years of operation as Johannesburg's premier independent live arts festival, they decided to take a short hiatus at the beginning of 2020. Now the festival returns after a 2-year break, and to share with us on its relaunch, we're joined by Artistic Director Hayleigh Evans. Hayleigh, a very good morning to you. A warm welcome to Morning Live. I mean, for somebody who doesn't know, tell us a little bit about the festival. Where does it all come from?
Okay, so the festival is kind of a live arts festival celebrating the work of pop art to now. So pop art used to be a full-time independent theatre based in Maboneng, and we took a short hiatus, and now we're coming back. We are expressing our interest in becoming a full-time live theatre again, and the way we're doing that is with a festival of live art that celebrates all the work that we did during 2011 to 2020. It's our audience favourites, it's our artistic director favourites, my unabashed favourites are in this festival, and the kind of work that we want to continue to do.
So talk to us about what's happened in the past 2 weeks. You said you started about 2 weeks ago, been running since then?
We launched on the 21st of January with our 24 Hours in the City event, which is an event that brings about 40 artists together to create 6 new plays in 24 hours. It's the event we launched with in 2011, so this festival is very nostalgic, so it was just something that we did to bring it back. And then last week we had Swallow, which was at the After Red Roof Theatre, presented by the Standard Bank Young Artists for this year, the theatre duo, which is Matlatsi Mokhonyana and Billy Langa. And we also had J Bob's live at the Bioscope, and he was the Standard Bank Young Artist for 2020. So we have, and it just kind of sets up the lineup for everything that's coming. We've got award-winning artists, shows that have travelled the globe. We've got Tony Miambo on Kafka's Ape this week, that has just come off the circuit from the Singapore Fringe Festival. So I think the first 2 weeks have really established the work that we're bringing back, and also has reintroduced us to our beloved audiences, and they've all come, and we've had sold out shows already. So we're very excited for the next 2 months of hopefully sold out shows.
I'm interested in who else is on your lineup. You touched a little bit on who else is on there, but who else is on the lineup that we can look forward to?
Oh, so much. We have one of my favorite pieces of all time is Nhlanhla Mahlangu's Chant. It's directed by Gerard Bester. It is an incredible piece of theatre, one-man show. We have Tony Morkel's one-woman show called Cottonwool Kid. We have an updated syllabus for the Woke, which is a piece that I directed with the Kwasha Theatre Company. We've got Firehouse, we have got Born Naked, we have got Text Me When You Arrive, which is also, that's happening next week. It's an incredible piece by an all-women trio about rape culture in South Africa. It's an incredible piece of theatre to engage. We've got Fiona Ramsey and Tony Benkel. We've got all these wonderful things. So 10 headline shows in the festival, and then pop-up shows as well. So we also have Serurubele's Storyteller Series, which is hosted by Lebogang Mogashwa. We've got the Box Comedy, which we're bringing back. It was an event we used to do every single Sunday with Goliath and Goliath. We'll have a big headline show at UJ for that. So names, different forms of art. We've got stand-up comedy, storytelling, dance, theatre, all live.
And I noticed that you also mentioned different venues in Johannesburg. Tell us about that concept and growing your audience in that way.
I think the kind of decision to do it in different venues has a couple of things behind it. We are looking to settle in a new permanent venue. So part of it is testing where our audiences are and what kind of space they want to come to. But also the different mediums fit very well in different spaces. We have been popping up during the pandemic period. We were lucky enough to have really beautiful partners who gave us homes. So I think part of it is also celebrating the partnerships that got us through the pandemic by being in all these different spaces.
So in this week, what do we have this week? Where are you in terms of just this week alone?
This weekend, we're at the After Red Roof with Kafka's Ape, and next week we'll also be at the After Red Roof with Text Me When You Arrive. And then for Valentine's Day, the following week, we'll be at Breeze Block Cafe with the Curatorial Storyteller series, speaking about stories about love. And then also at the After Red Roof the following week.
And talk to us about the conversation you've had to have with the different venues, you know, to make sure that you're present everywhere.
It's been really, really encouraging to speak to all these partners and see just how important people feel live arts is and how ready everyone is to kind of get back into the space. The state houses have been running and they've been doing a really good job of propping the industry up, but this is really about independent artists who are creating their own work, and I think it takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot of risk, so it's really nice to have the support of the built environment, and that's also why we've decided that at some point this year we'll also be coming back as a full-time space.
And 2011 to 2020, I mean, what do you think was the glue that held it together at that time? Do you know what I mean? That, you know, you survived, I imagine, other challenges in that time. It didn't mean that, you know, when COVID happened, there weren't challenges for pop art before then.
We actually, funnily enough, had decided to already move before the pandemic. We'd sort of felt that we needed to kind of shake things up. So we were very lucky in our decision making there. But I think that the glue that held us together is this kind of independent spirit. I think there are a lot of artists. We started the business in order to make platforms accessible to people who were trying to do it on their own. And I think that kind of independent spirit and that idea of making without being kind of told what to do by an institution was really important to us. And I think the way that artistic communities come together is what has always held us together, and I think it's the reason we're coming back as well.
And speak to us about the process of curating a festival of this magnitude. I mean, the amount of productions that you have to think about, you know, to the end of March, I can't imagine how much work goes into that.
Sure. I mean, they say editing takes time, and I maybe have not been such a good editor on this one because there's so much that I love. Because the festival period is quite short and we've had to do it by the end of March because we're very lucky to have received some NAC PESP funding for the festival, which means it needs to be complete by the end of March. So there were a lot of artists who maybe weren't available during the time. So we've had to kind of compromise a couple of things, lose a couple of things from the program, sadly. But in general, it's just been so joyful to curate and so joyful to re-engage people and say, like, are you keen? Do you want to? And I think also when I've spoken to a lot, because it's all really quite established artists in this festival, but pop art going forward will also be for emerging artists. So it's really about like having that negotiation with artists. We've got the Standard Bank Young Artists for the year and saying to them, I know you guys are like super famous now, but will you do this and will you show the next generation how it's done? So it's really important to me that we also recognize that students coming out of acting institutions at the moment have not seen independent theatre. They've not had the opportunity to see that. So it's really important that this is also an opportunity for people to see artists doing it on their own.
That's actually very good. Hayleigh, thank you so much. Good to see you again. Johannesburg's beloved independent theatre organisation IPOPArt is back with IYABUYA IPOPArt, and we just spoke to the artistic director of the festival, Hayleigh Evans.